My name is Stephen Rafferty. You're watching These Are Questions. This is the interview show where I ask people questions about things, life, and such not. And today's guest is a professional doodler. And what I mean by that is that she's an incredibly talented artist that focuses with her creative doodles and expressing motivation, spirituality, and inspiration with her awesome quotes and sayings and phrases. She is the one and only Kenya.
Hello, so nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of These Are Questions. Greatly appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Before we get into the interview itself, let me explain the rules of These Are Questions. Kenya, I'm going to ask you a series of questions going to be based around your career and aspirations, along with a mixture of questions that are borderline idiotic and, well, randomly stupid. Do you accept those terms?
I do.
Okay, great. Awesome. So, Kenya, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Internet/doodlers, are you ready? I can feel people doodling in the background, so I'm going to take that as a yes. With that, let's begin. So thank you so much for being a part of These Are Questions. I greatly appreciate it. We connected online through season 4 guest Noemi of Noemi Creative Souls. She's a wonderful soul and a wonderful creative. We hit it off so well that we're calling each other friends. Right, friend? I would love for you to formally introduce yourself to our audiences here on These Are Questions and explain your story on how you got into your little sunny doodles.
Well, my name is Kenya and I'm known as Little Sunny Doodle. I started doodling probably around COVID time, and I wasn't very big back then. It was just kind of a hobby that I picked up since there was not a lot to do during that time. And I never considered myself an artistic person growing up, but it wasn't until COVID hit that I really started exploring Procreate, which is an app on the iPad, Apple iPad. And then I just kind of started searching for artists that did the same thing and kind of watching YouTube tutorials. And I wanted to do something with my art. Like, I was going through a rough time myself. I think I hit the darkest part of my life during COVID time. I think art and quotes were what I was like looking for. Some of the quotes that I do are actually kind of something that I'm going through. So I always my art is always kind of related to a part of my life, I guess. So it makes it feel less lonely because I feel like other people are also relating to that. And I think that's what keeps me going with making my art and just bettering myself and just being there for others. We're like a little community, I guess.
Very cool, very cool. And I'm glad you were able to take some of the personal meanings that you're going through at that time, especially in a very difficult time for a lot of individuals, and use it and twist it into a positive kind of form of outlet to help motivate and inspire many individuals that are maybe going through similar stories or maybe going through their own interpersonal situations right now. So much respect in that regard.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And one thing that I really gravitated towards your artwork is just the uniqueness behind each individual post and piece. Could you take me into your step-by-step kind of mind in terms of creating a piece for your audience?
It's like a big it's kind of crazy how art works. I think at first it was kind of difficult trying to even find my style of art. And I started to realize my style was more like self-love and kind of making others feel seen, that they're not alone, and like that the world does love them. Because I've seen a lot of people throughout the years that feel like they don't belong here, and I wanted to do something more relatable to that. Art is always around, but I feel like quotes, someone already kind of invented the quote, so you just kind of want to make it your own spin to it. But whenever a quote speaks to me, that's what I go for. And I try to focus on quotes that are more like making people know that their feelings are valid, that they matter. I try to focus on those kind of quotes that, and I don't know, it just kind of worked for me. It's always something that I do myself because growing up I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. So I want other people to like slowly start growing into that like self-confidence and self-love journey. It's just so important. And I don't know, I just found a lot of people are even around the community that do these kind of posts. So it kind of bounced off ideas of one another. But the process, I guess, would be finding a quote that speaks to me, and then just kind of doodle. It's not like a specific kind of like drawing that I have to do. I just kind of do little fun doodles because you kind of want a positive message out there, and I kind of like doing doodles that and colorful because I love colors. So, so I just kind of sit down, think of a quote that spoke to me that day, and then just kind of doodle from there. Usually it's like my me time.
Okay. Thank you for dwelling into the mind of Kenya in terms of
Yeah.
creating your doodles. You know, everyone has their own unique way of getting inspired for the pieces that they're trying to make. And the art itself always speaks to each artist in their own individualistic and stylistic style.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of doodles, let me ask you this. If you had the chance to create a doodle for any Disney character, which Disney character would you doodle for and why?
Oh, that's a hard one because I really love Disney. Actually, when I first started my Instagram page, it was Disney related too. So
Okay.
but it was way back. I think that one of my favorite characters is probably Elsa from Frozen. I don't know, it's just that movie speaks to me. She's just trying to find who she is and find love in herself and kind of find like her path, and what makes her her. And I think just being able to doodle like self empowerment, self love, kind of would be awesome because that's what I'm all about. And it's not that I'm against the whole princess finding her prince charming or anything, but it's just kind of this movie focuses more on like, loving your sister or loving a family member. So I think it'd be pretty cool to do for Elsa.
Okay. You never know. You never know. You could have a frozen doodle coming your way right now. You never know.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
the dream, right?
Absolutely, right? No question about that. My next question is something that I actually want to show you. I have a dice cube, okay? And it goes from 1 to 6. And I just want to ask you, what number do you think this dice cube will land on?
Um, let's say like 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good number. Good number. Solid number. Remember that number for the end of the season because this will play a bigger role at the end. Okay. We'll find out where this dice cube will land on in the end. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So just remember that. 3 could be a good number. It may not be a good number, but I can tell you that 3 is a number.
Yeah.
Mhm. There you go. There you go. There you go. Let me ask this. Have you ever heard of the fourth wall in movies?
No, I have not.
Okay, okay. Well, for clarification, the fourth wall is when there's a scene in a movie where an actor breaks character or says a line that the audience knows is either an inside joke or just a blatant getting out of the story itself. So let's say like I don't know, in Toy Story, Buzz and Woody are having a conversation and then like Woody's just like, "Oh, hey audience, what's going on over there?" Wink wink. So it's kind of like an indirect inside joke, okay?
Okay.
Okay? Now, I've said the fourth wall in a movie. Let me ask you this. If you know how to break the fourth wall, how would you break the fifth wall?
I have no idea on that one. um,
And this could be your own interpretation. It can be literally anything. So don't think too hard.
mm, maybe like trying to make connection after the connection after that kind of if you already kind of grabbed them in interacted with that. So
Okay, maybe. Okay, so let's say that. Fourth wall, they say the little line, the audience is aware. Fifth wall, let's say Woody jumps out and goes to like the movie watchers in the movie theater and starts shaking hands. That could be a fifth wall break.
Yeah, like kind of more like a connection with the person, kind of.
I like that. Personal connections there. That connections that's connected in that way. Let me ask, where do you want to take your doodles to in the future? Where do you want it to go?
It's kind of hard because I started this really as like a hobby, and then I started to see that a lot of people do much more with it. At times, I went further and I want to do something big with it, but at times it's kind of like it's just a hobby for me. It's just kind of like something that I like to do on my free time, and just if it's helping others, then it's something that makes me happy. Um, I recently did want to start like a small business for it, maybe some stickers, some prints, because I get a lot of messages on that when I'm gonna start selling like physical products. I've already invested in the like machines that I need to make it. I think it's just starting like because I'm gonna have to really dedicate time to it and like practice how to make stickers and practice how to do everything so it's like worth selling. So I already like purchased everything I need. I think it's just that motivation that kind of like to get started. Actually, I do want to sell and up my Etsy shop and sell products, so people can actually have them in their wall to remind them of their self-worth and self-love. I want them to have that with them too, physically in their wall. And if people want it, then I really want to work to make it happen for them too.
That sounds great, and you can absolutely
Mhm.
see you doing that. You just sometimes just gotta put yourself out there and just be like, all right, let's just try it and just see what happens there. And you never know. You could do posters, you could do stickers, and maybe since you have so many different doodles, you probably could combine them and make like a book or something. Like a book of motivational
Yeah.
of quotes and inspiring, cool, colorful doodles.
hmm
You never know.
It's something. Yeah, it's something I definitely I'm starting to think about more and more. I think the motivation is coming more. It's just I feel like with a full-time job, it's always a little bit harder because I don't want to leave my full-time job to just jump into this because I don't know if it's gonna like go the way that I want it to yet. So it's like a hard decision.
Of course, it is a hard decision. It's not easy
Mhm.
starting a business in any field, and that's why a lot of individuals will do, let's say, their 9 to 5 traditional job, and then they'll do these projects, on the side or in the evenings, and then kind of build it to there to where they hopefully get to a point where they reverse that, where they're just doing that as their main source. And it doesn't have to. I was saying like if you're doing things that you like doing, you've already won in that sense. If you do it for a business sense and you do extra and you make maybe a little bit of financial incentive and you're making that, that's like hitting the jackpot. But either way, if you're doing the thing that you like, whether it's a hobby or whether you want to take it to a business there, you've already won in that sense because a lot of people don't get the chance to do that. So you've already been blessed and grateful for that already?
Definitely, I agree because I didn't even think that my platform was gonna grow this much. I was in it for fun, even if I only had like 50 followers or whatever. It's just kind of like, and I didn't expect for it to like skyrocket, I guess you could
Mhm.
say.
Absolutely. And then look at it now. And then you never know. You never know where the future will take you.
Yeah, definitely.
And let me ask, what's a cool piece of advice for aspiring doodlers?
I think to keep trying because at first it's gonna get difficult. When I first started, I would always be like, "Oh, I can't post this because it's not as good as that person's art." But you can't take someone's 5 years of experience on your first day of it. It's gonna take time to build, and it's gonna take time to find your style because your style is always constantly gonna be changing too. It's not like you're gonna stick to one style, and it's okay to change it too. Don't feel like you have to stick. You have to be the one who likes your art. So I feel like if you want to change it, you can change it and evolve. And if people seem to kind of go off that style for you, then it's okay because I think we have to be the ones who like it, the art as the artist. Because that was always my biggest fear, like changing my style, changing my color palette, changing everything. Because I'd be like, what if other people don't like it, or what if the people that I follow me hate it? And don't compare yourself to other artists because everybody's believe it or not, other artists are also comparing themselves to you, and so everybody's kind of on their own path. So just know that your art is always good enough. So if you keep doubting yourself, oh, I can't post this because it's not good enough. Trust me, it's good enough, and someone's gonna love it out there. Importantly, you should love it. You know.
Absolutely. That's the most important thing at the end of the day, that you enjoy making what you're making. Everything else is just an additional benefit in itself. And I always say, if you're uncomfortable posting it, not because you're not proud of the work, but let's say you don't know if people are going to like it, you won't know unless you do post it out, and then you'll get the feedback accordingly. And you never want to change truly who you are, but you want to adapt either way, and just play around with different styles if you need to, but always stay true to your own specific unique style. Everyone has their own unique style.
Yeah, and even then, like, sometimes you tend to put your value on the amount of likes you get on the art piece on social media, and sometimes that doesn't really matter because you could get like, let's say 10 likes, but you could get that one comment that someone really needed that message or someone really needed to see that art piece. And I think that's way more worth more than just like a million likes, you know. Eventually you're gonna find a community where like your art just means a lot to everybody and to yourself especially.
Mhm. Definitely there. And that one comment, that one phrase can make the world of a difference for an individual. So, it's
Mhm.
awesome. It's amazing. It's
Mm,
unique.
it is.
Mhm. It's been a pleasure speaking with you here on These Are Questions, but we are wrapping up towards the end of the interview. And right now, I just have one more question to ask you. And the question I want to ask you is, Kenya, what is your most magical personality trait?
Mhm. I think, uh, I wanna say making other people feel good about themselves. I think just kinda making them see or heard, just listening to them. So I feel like a lot of people don't listen anymore these days. They kinda, like, just zone out, and I truly like listening to people and putting the time into them.
Mhm. Absolutely. And I think that's a very unique personality trait that a lot of people don't have and is caring for others. But I always say, make sure you care for yourself first before you can take care of others. And that's a general rule of thumb in any form. You want to make sure you're okay before you can start helping others. Because if you're not okay, then how are you going to be able to help people that are also not okay?
Mhm, definitely. Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, I always step off social media whenever I'm not feeling okay too, because like you don't want to pressure yourself if you're not even there for you yet. So I always try to back off social media if I'm not doing well, which is okay too.
Sure, absolutely. Whatever you need to do to get yourself into the right headspace, the right physical space, the right spiritual space, whatever makes you feel well in the world, do what you got to do. And that's it.
Mhm.
We are at the end of our These Are Questions interview. Before we end off completely, I just want to say this: anything that you want to talk about, anything you want to promote, anything you want to do, the internet is yours. So take it away.
I don't have anything to promote, I guess. Just kind of tell people to know that they're not alone. There's always someone out there willing to listen to you. If you want to check out my page, I'd be willing to listen to you and just be there for you if you need some help on anything. Um, but yeah, I don't really have anything.
No problem, no problem. With her page, I will put in the description down below if anyone is interested in viewing her amazing doodles, and anyone who needs help on there, she's more than happy to listen in that regard. Just like I have my descriptions for everything that's listed, oh, excuse me, my information listed in all the descriptions down below as well. And we just want to say we thank you for watching on my YouTube channel and listening on all available podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And we just want to say that hopefully you're doing okay. Hopefully everyone's doing okay. And I just want to say that you have been watching slash listening to These Are Questions. Have a good afternoon, everyone.